All right, how about Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams picking up a huge win? Really, I don't want to say a win they needed, but a win they really could have used and are glad they got. It was a weird game, bad weather, all of that stuff. We'll get into it. This is going to be a Matthew Stafford evaluation, so that's what we're going to be talking about. But we'll get into some of the other stuff like the ground game and stuff. But yeah, let's just get into the video. Let's start off with this play, because I think this is a good example of, listen, we're going to get into some of the weather here. Obviously, this was a weather game. You can't talk about this without talking about the situation. But not all the mistakes were weather related. Like, for example, what's going to happen here, 3rd down and 4, and the concept on the screen is one that, in theory, should be able to work. Now, again, the weather could mess up things, but it's zone coverage, and really, that route is a really good one against this coverage, because you see the other two routes I put on the screen can kind of, move linebackers out of position, and then you can throw over the middle. So does that mean that there's no way to cover this? Well, no, and in fact, one thing you can do if you have a really aggressive safety is have the safety just crash in and try and intercept it. Well, as you see when this play begins, that's exactly what Hufanga is going to do. So sometimes we see this where Sean McVay runs a lot of really clever schemes, but the issue is you can kind of just think to yourself if you're a defender, okay, what's a good scheme to beat the coverage we're currently in? That's what Hufanga is doing here, and Stafford has to notice this. It's kind of his job on this play, is to notice this type of situation. He does not. Luckily for him, Hufanga drops that one, because that would have been a big deal. With how much field position mattered, giving the Niners the ball at least at midfield, who knows how far he runs after I think he probably gets tackled pretty quickly, but probably gets to midfield. Unfortunately for the 49ers, it wasn't quite able to happen. But also, some of it you have to wonder if the weather was the reason why things were going wrong. So, this play, it's a 3rd down and 7. And what did we see just all of last week when there were one-on-one matchups against the Bills? Well, let's throw it to Puka Nacua one-on-one. He's going to win this matchup. Even if it's not by a ton of separation, Stafford can make a good throw, and Nacua can make a good catch. Okay, so you got a one-on-one on 3rd and 7 here. Let's try it. Well, you see that Stafford's going to take the snap. He looks over in that direction, and there's some separation here. I mean, it's not the most open you're ever going to see, but there's definitely a little bit of a window. However, no doubt about it, this throw was just a little bit off, and Nacua not quite able to track that one. It almost looked like it got, it was hard to tell. It kind of looked like he had a real chance at it, wasn't able to grab it. Again, we saw those guys making tough catches, making incredible plays all game last, just not even a week ago. Is that the issue here? Well, it's impossible to say for sure. But definitely they weren't hitting some of these types of plays, right? That is definitely fair to say. And also, you got to give the 49ers credit. They were making some plays. Like, for example, this one, it's going to be, interior defensive lineman here for the San Francisco 49ers. It's Yetur Gross-Matos, who's mostly played as an edge, but here he's going to be on the inside. And watch how when this play begins, he quickly gets pressure. Stafford is in trouble, is not going to have time to really get to a second read, which is unfortunate because you see his second read is actually open on this play. His first read wasn't, but his second read is, but he just doesn't have time to get there. As you see, Stafford tries to flip it to him, almost made it work out. Would have been fun if it did, but again, not quite able to make the play work. So good play by the 49ers on that one. Not the best by the Rams there. But also, there were just plays of good coverage. At the end of the day, if guys aren't open and if Stafford, doesn't really trust his arm in these tight window throws the way he might in a typical game, that's what can get things done. So this play, for example, 3rd down and 5, just starting the second half. Stafford takes the snap, and you're going to see, it's really well blocked. I'm going to pause this at around 5 seconds. You see, it worked well. Good job by the Rams offensive line, but Stafford's looking downfield, and there's just nothing he sees. Watch, he continues. The halfback on the screen looked like he might be open. He's not. He was covered up that whole time. Just a great defensive play by the 49ers secondary, but also, guys aren't getting open. It's going to be tough to move the ball down the field. So what can you do to counter it? Well, this was an interesting play. So it's 3rd down and 5, and you're sitting here thinking, okay, what are the Rams going to do on a 3rd and 5 obvious passing situation? Well, they're going to run it. Of course, they're going to run it, which is kind of interesting. So the way this play works is actually a good job by the Rams. They're going to sell as though it's going to be a run straight to the right here. You see how this blocking concept can work. They have a tight end who's going to be rushing towards the offense's right, and if they are going in that direction, well, the closest unblocked player for the 49ers is a linebacker who's pretty far away, so he's got to make sure he gets over. Watch, Stafford does decide to hand this football off, but you see right here, those 49ers players, again, they're getting over it. And if this is a run to the right, this play isn't working. I don't know if this was by design or just Kyren Williams reading the play, but he instead then runs essentially straight up the gut, and he's able to pick up a first down right there. So whether it was a good piece of running or a good play call, good job by the Rams to, get this first down. Weren't able to convert in the, once they got the first, I don't think it was first and goal, but close to the goal line, but still, a fun play here. So now let's go over to this play. So what have the Rams been doing a lot of? Really a lot of running the ball. They've definitely thrown it, but even when they've thrown it, it's usually been very short, stuff over the middle. So here, you see the route that Puka Nacua is running right here. It's a deep shot. And usually on these types of concepts, this is just a setup route. You're just pushing, hopefully, the safety and corner further deep, and then hopefully stuff over the middle can get open because you're going to run a play action. That's trying to get the linebackers out of position. Remember that play I showed you earlier, the first play I showed you when Stafford probably should have thrown an interception, got lucky with the drop? Well, what happened there? The safety came in, right? Playing aggressive. Here, really, the 49ers just aren't ready for this. You see, blitz is picked up. It was a zone blitz that the Niners were in. And as of right here, you sometimes look at these types of plays and think, oh, was this a blown coverage? This wasn't really. Usually there is safety help over there, so you could argue it is, but Tre'Davious Ward, a really good corner for the 49ers, just kind of let Nacua run by him because they haven't been doing this all game, and the safety is somewhere else because they haven't been doing this all game. As you see, Stafford's able to make this throw. They're able to get the big completion. Also, the weather's a lot better now, too. That makes things easier. Unfortunately for them, they did once again stall in the red zone, but were able to at least get a big play here and, take the lead. And then finally, this play right here, as they're running out the clock, this is just a blown coverage by the 49ers. You see, Kobe Parkinson, the tight end, no 49ers player is on him. They're playing man coverage. Someone was in motion, and no one, I don't know what happened, but something got screwed up here. As you see, Stafford, again, to his credit, reads that, quickly gets it over there, and they're able to convert. So, hey, give them credit for taking advantage of their opponent's mistakes, which is what football is all about at the end of the day. So, again, an ugly win for sure, but it was kind of, it was ugly weather. They weren't going to win this game in a pretty way, so they decided to win it in an ugly way as instead, which was, definitely, I think if you're a Rams fan, what you wanted here. So yeah, again, weird game, but a win is a win. What do you think about this performance by the Rams? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.